Okay, what's up, everybody? Good morning. Welcome to a Friday edition of Morning Scone, presented by Brock, the Baton Rouge Orthopedic Clinic, Parish Construction and Roofing. If you need an orthopedist, go to Brock. You need a roof, call Parish. Unique Physique, uniquephysique.com, Restored Motions, restoredmotions.com, and Bocock Brothers Premium Cigars. Use the code MAT15, MAT15, MAT15 for 15% off your order. All right, y'all. Good morning. Hope your Friday's off to a great start. Hope everybody had a great week. Rolling through this Friday should be a really good weekend. Today, 5-star offensive tackle Darius Gray is going to make his college announcement. It's going to be, this evening. It'll be at 6 Central, and he is going to make the announcement on the CBS College Sports Football YouTube channel. At least that's what it's supposed to be. So we'll know this evening what he's going to decide. All signs indicate that it's going to be South Carolina. Remember, he's from Virginia, so it's a little closer to home. That's still I looked it up today. It's still like a 5-hour drive from his home in Virginia to South Carolina, but obviously still much closer than Baton Rouge. So that seems to be, one of the key drivers behind that decision. So, you put your best foot forward and you recruit a player hard and you make the pitch to them and tell them how they fit, and then you make all the NIL rev share stuff work to be competitive, and then you let them make a decision. And it worked for guys like Lamar Brown. The opportunity, Bryson Martinez, the opportunity to stay close to home, and sometimes you're going to miss on guys that that choose to go somewhere else for a similar reason. So we'll see what happens. It seems like all the national people are pointing toward Gray picking South Carolina, but we'll see how it goes. He's a 5-star interior player. When you look toward next season, if everybody returns, I'll remind you, Braylon Moore has another year, so Braylon Moore could come back for another season. I kind of hope he does, but if Braylon Moore is gone, Cohen Eccles likely slides in as your center next year. Chester, Mabanga, Darius Kern, Solomon Thomas, Weston Davis, Tyree Adams. I mean, most of your line will be back. Your contributors will be back. So, but we'll find out tonight. Another big fish, as the targets that LSU still has lingering out there. Some of them are starting to make their decisions before their senior years in high school starts. So, Darius Gray is the big one tonight. He'll make the announcement at 6 o'clock Central. So we'll talk about it tomorrow when we know. Okay, let's say some good morning, y'all. Smash that like button, subscribe to the channel. Good morning, Thomas. Get ready, haters like Dale. Get ready, Dale. Here it comes, hater. Tiger Diver, who do you think 3 permanent opponents will be? Yeah, shame on me. I should have put that in the description today. I don't know. I remember when this was discussed a year or so ago, and Greg Sankey spoke on the record. They looked at like a 20-year average, and they basically split the conference into a top half and a bottom half, right? Basically, 8 and 8, based on records over the last 20 years. And the top half would have 2 games against each other and 1 game against the bottom. And the bottom half would have 2 games against each other and 1 game against the top. What will be fascinating to see is what they do with Alabama, because Alabama has their historic rivalries against Auburn and Tennessee, but the Alabama LSU game has been the most valuable entity that the SEC has had in the last 2 decades. I mean, it's been the CBA. When it was CBA, it was the CBS primetime game every year. It still remains one of, if not the marquee annual product that the SEC has for television. You don't want to give that up, right? But are they really going to make Alabama play Auburn, LSU, and Tennessee? Now, I remember, because Nick Saban threw a hissy fit about this, and the explanation was Tennessee over the last 2 decades had been in the bottom half. They had a lot of they had a lot of lean years, man. There was a lot of Derek Dooley and who was the guy that looked like a thumb? Jeremy Pruitt. they had some lean years, man. So even at the end of Fulmer, so they actually were in the bottom half is how they were justifying it. But are you really going to saddle Alabama with that schedule? Maybe. So I would love to not play Alabama every year. I don't need that in my life. I will be curious to see. I think you would probably be looking at, because here's the other thing, like Auburn's going to play Bama in Georgia. So you could start working that out, right? By filling in what you know. Like Auburn's going to play Bama in Georgia. Georgia's going to play Auburn in Florida. Bama's going to play Auburn in Tennessee. Texas and Texas A&M are absolutely going to play Texas. So Texas will have Texas will have Texas A&M in Oklahoma. You know what I mean? Like you'd start to fill out some of those things like that. I think one of LSU's would be Ole Miss. It's odd, given Mississippi State is the game LSU's played the most in its history. I think there's been a lot of a natural rivalry that's bloomed with Texas A&M. I think Florida would probably be there. So if I had to guess, it would probably be Alabama, Florida, and Ole Miss, or Alabama, Florida, and Mississippi State. It would probably look like that. But I would love to not have Alabama on the schedule every year. Hey, boat driver, Abner Neal, Brian Wynn, Pat Huseman, good morning. 66 in Northern Alabama. All right, Thomas. Love to hear that. Bradley, good morning. Bob, good morning. And my fellow everydayers, have a great weekend. Thanks, Bob. Thank you for being there, man. Thanks for being an everydayer. Who dat Tigers? What up? Brad, good morning. Watched an old video of you, and I forgot how small your old studio was. The old studio at Guarantee, it was a closet. It was a production room that they put a wall in to separate the host and producer side. They're currently deconstructing that wall to make that a production room again. That was tiny. Sean, I like the 9-game schedule. Get rid of junk money games. Amen. And they're keeping the Power 4 non-conference mandate. So you'll have 10 of the 12 games on your schedule that you actually care about. Christian, good morning. Never been so excited for a Sam Houston, Western Kentucky game tomorrow. Hey, Blaine, good morning. Chef, good morning. Ryan Amanda Guidry, good morning. Josh Higginbotham, good morning. Closer and closer to the season. What up? Thomas, crew of Dale is like a Bama burning house. Tiger Poppy, good morning. Have a great weekend. You too, man. Hey, Rooney, good morning. News on Solomon Thomas. Does he have the body to play as a freshman? So he's really big. And we see him out there at practice every day. He's just, one of those little, knee scooters. His foot's in a boot. So he's got one of those, you put your knee on the scooter thing and wheel around. So, yeah, I mean, he's a big old strong dude. He's a 5-star. Just, it's hard to miss all of fall camp, though, and then to come back and work your way back into a position where you're going to contribute as a freshman. So that's hard to imagine. Hey, David, good morning. Do you wish LSU had a historical rivalry? I guess, Brad, but having never had one, I don't really know what I'm missing. LSU's just always kind of had the flavor of the month sort of thing, where it's been sort of generational. So, LSU and Ole Miss in the 50s and 60s, Bama in the 70s. I love the Auburn series, 80s, 90s, all those amazing games that were all named and had the crazy finishes. If you're in the 2000s, Florida was, LSU and Florida was sort of the thing. And then Bama, LSU Bama after that. So kind of depends on how old you are and, what demographic you slot into. So Hang on one second.
Parish Construction and Roofing. At Parish, we've got you covered. From the top of your roof, all the way down. Parish Construction and Roofing. Parish Built. Parish Built. Parish Built. From your hometown, parishbuilt.com.
Right. Parish Construction and Roofing. Love to give you that free, no obligation roofing inspection. Go to parishbuilt.com, parishbuilt.com, parishbuilt.com. Stat morning. This Advocate story about LSU's $18 million roster is wild. 8 to 9 wins would be a failure. I haven't seen the Advocate story. And 18 million is in the ballpark. It's close. I think it's probably closer to 20, but yeah, it's close. That's why I keep saying, man, they went and bought, like you've heard me say this for months. They went and bought the best possible roster. They did what Ole Miss and Ohio State did last year. They went all in. They had a fifth-year senior quarterback. They pushed all their chips to the center and said, let's go win right now. So that's the point. Like, that's why I've said over and over and over again, if Brian Kelly doesn't get to the playoff with this roster, it's fair to ask, is it going to happen? Because all of these guys are leaving after this year. I mean, they're here for 1 year, so go make the most of it. Chance, Alabama and Auburn rivalry games have been the cog in SEC scheduling since divisions were created. I don't know if you mean cog. You mean it as a negative, I would assume. Which I agree with you. I don't think you mean cog, but yes, I agree. I mean, well, that's the thing. The league trying to satisfy Alabama, Auburn, Alabama, Tennessee, and Georgia, Auburn. Those fan bases for those games is why we've had such an awful scheduling model. And the truth is, I don't give a rip if Auburn and Georgia ever play again. Those fan bases care, and you can say, "Oh, the Deep South's oldest rivalry." Who cares? Like, when Auburn's a 5-win team, I don't care about Auburn and Georgia. When they're both really good and it's a good game, great. But if Georgia's playing Bama or Georgia's playing Texas, what are you more interested in watching this year? Georgia Auburn or Georgia Texas? It ain't Georgia Auburn because it's the Deep South's oldest. I don't care what they were doing in 1892. Who cares? I want to watch the good games this year. The Deep South's oldest rivalry. Hey, Brian, really wanted Darius Gray, South Carolina, beat us out for a dominant lineman. Yeah, I always, and it's semantics, Brian, but it's semantics, but I don't like to say you beat someone out for or you lost someone. It's just because you don't have it. You can't control, like you can't make someone pick your school. That's what the hard thing with recruiting, man. You put your best. If you went and said, look, we did everything right. We had them on the official visit. We rolled out the red carpet. All the coaches showed them how we were going to use them. We called them every day. We sent him mail when we could. We went and visited him. We had a competitive NIL rev share. Like, what more could you do? What more could you do? Hey, Joe, people seem to want Rattler. Both quarterbacks struggled against the starters. Both did well against second string. What are your thoughts? My thoughts are that Tyler Shuck's going to win the job. Even if not week one, it's an eventuality, I think. I do think the fact that Kellen Moore said they're going to play the starters on Saturday and Rattler's going to start is kind of an indication that Rattler's probably going to start week 1. Because if you're going to play the starters and Shuck was going to start, wouldn't you want to play Shuck with the starters? Just a thought. But I still maintain the thing I've said all along. I mean, this coaching staff didn't draft Spencer Rattler. They knew they had Rattler and still drafted Shuck. So they're going to ride with their guy, I believe. Hey, Matt, good morning. JD Scream, morning, Matt. Do you think the Saints franchise quarterback is on this team? I do not. Let's see. Brown Bear, Josh Pate, Alabama over Texas in the SEC Championship. What are your thoughts? My thoughts are I disagree. I find it, Bama is burning, all that stuff notwithstanding. I mean, I do think that people have given Kalen DeBoer a total pass for choking against Vanderbilt, Oklahoma, and Michigan last year. Like, it's the same thing I said about his last year at Washington. They got plumb lucky to beat Oregon the first time. They were in a dogfight against a terrible Washington State team. There's another game that he in the playoff against Texas. They had a big lead, choked it away the same way they did last year against Georgia on their home field when they had the big lead and then gave it all away until Ryan Williams made some pirouette and moved down the sideline. Like that, and you don't have a quarterback. So, let's see. Kevin, morning, Scone. Would love to not have Bama on the schedule every year, even though they're great games. Yeah, I want to win championships. That's what I want. Like Texas made the playoff last year. Their schedule was a joke. Does anyone look and go, Texas is a joke? No, they're preseason number 1 in the country right now. Like, nobody asks how. You think the 1910 Auburn Tigers have to show their work? It's a joke because they just claimed the 1910 title this week. Hey, Blaine, new to the show. You're in your house studio. I'm in my house. This is my office in my house. Thanks for being here, man. Welcome aboard. Here every day at 6:45 Central. Michael Cook, good morning. Let's go. Quinn, good morning. Let's go. 9 games possible now if we can get rid of permanent opponents. Go to all 32 team playoff. It'll be set. We're heading there, John. We're getting there. Hey, Bryson, morning, Scone. LSU baseball still national champions. Yes, they are. Hey, Ryan, morning, Matt. With the change in SEC schedule, does that mean the SEC got their guaranteed 4 slots for the playoffs? Very likely. You're probably going to see the 4-4, 2-2, 1-1-1 model. It's very likely what's going to happen. But ultimately, they had to make a decision. What about LSU Tulane coming back? Not happening. There's no reason. It doesn't make sense, Blaine. You got to remember, for LSU, they're going to have at least 7 home games every year. So, and if you want to leave open the possibility of a Power 4 non-conference game, that's either going to be a neutral site or every other year you play home and home. So, the problem with Tulane is they would want some type of reciprocation. I saw John Summerall say, we'll play at the Superdome. It doesn't matter because if LSU plays a home game, they're going to net $8-10 million on a home game. If you go play in the Superdome, even if you split the revenue of the game, it's going to be a massive financial loss. And in the rev share era, you're looking for new ways to create new revenue, not give up revenue. So no, it'll never happen again. The economics do not work for LSU and Tulane to play every year. Is today the day we find out about whiskey and wine? Maybe so. Jackson, Matt C. Roman Anthony's Mr. Home Run in the Bronx last night. I guess it's monster home run last night. I did not watch baseball last night. I got home and honestly had a little preseason football on, and we were kind of getting the house ready, so I did not watch baseball last night. Did the Yanks win? I didn't check the score, man. I know they're playing Boston. I know it's bad of me not to know that. But they did so well down in Tampa, and they had the quick turnaround, flying home to take on Boston. It was just a busy day. I didn't start recording Locked On last night until 11 o'clock last night. Boston. Okay. Figured. That was one of Jimmy's otter locks. It was a good play, too. I mean, the Yankees flying from Tampa to New York. Boston was, at the quick trip, was settled in. Quick turnaround for the Yankees. Makes sense. More Matt finally made it through the offseason football tomorrow, y'all. Hey, Luis, good morning. Colin, they gave Shuck guaranteed moolah. Yeah, but not enough to matter. Colin, I think both of those guys combined have $8 million left on their contracts. That's just not a relevant enough amount of money to matter. Like the guaranteed contract, you're talking about a difference in $1 million. It's actually just a hair under $1 million. It's just the money. It's weird to say that the money for those two guys really is just irrelevant. John, Saints didn't draft him to ride the bench. That's kind of the point, right? Hey, Glenn, what's the chance of Micah Parsons to the Saints? Literally no chance at all. The Saints can't afford it. It wouldn't make a lick of sense to give up draft picks to do it. I don't know if he has a no trade clause, but if he did, I would absolutely ban that. I'd want to go to a winner. No chance. Hey, Tom, good morning. David, Billy, brand new to the cigar game. Did you have a favorite when you first started out? I'll tell you. So in all seriousness, I know Bocock is fantastic. I really do enjoy all of their offerings. You can find a mild cigar that's delicious, that you'll really enjoy. One that I gravitate to, that I enjoy a lot, is Macanudo Inspirado, the green label. They have them at Don Juan. So pop into Don Juan, Macanudo Inspirado green label. That's my personal choice that I like a lot. But you can find, Punch is a brand that, is very popular, has really, you can find something no matter what your flavor is. I'm trying to think of what's something that's kind of more for, you don't want to go and spend $25 on a stick if you're just starting. You want to find things that are affordable and approachable and things like that. Punch is a good brand to do that. So is Bocock. Auburn identifies as champions. Hey, Ryan, if Auburn claimed a couple more titles, that means we've won every year, right? Yes. Auburn, jeez. Hey, Ashton, good morning. Does Big Ten have 9 conference game schedule? Yes. So Big Ten and Big 12 play 9 games. The SEC and the ACC play 8. So with the SEC going to 9, the ACC is expected to follow suit. So the Power Four will all be at 9 league games. So we're getting closer to what I keep talking about, which is equitable schedules where everybody's playing the same number of power opponents, same number of games, that sort of thing. David, what do you think about this year's O-line? I think they are super talented, David. I think they're just going to need time to get the 5 to play as 1. I think the O-line by the end of the season is going to be really, really good. I worry about week 1 on the road at Clemson with a bunch of dudes playing together for the first time. Hey, John, Ethan Fry got his first home run yesterday. Awesome. Love to see that. Hey, Dane, good morning. Jalen, done breaking this LSU team down, ready to get the season started. Yeah, man. Almost there. We're in the game week, man. Jermaine, good morning. I know you're a busy guy. Would love if you would put a panel of LSU podcasts to discuss topics that everybody disagrees with, just to get to understand, please. Give me a better sense of what you're interested in. Monte Cristos are great. That's a great choice. Dane, I don't know what a Monte Cristo white number 2 would cost. But that's kind of what I was thinking about with nothing equitable about SEC schedule compared to Big Ten, ACC, or Big 12. I don't know that I agree with that, Dane. The depth in the Big Ten schedule is good now. I agree with you in the ACC. It's top heavy and not very good. And the Big 12 is just a whole bunch of average. There's really no elite team in the Big 12. I mean, literally the team that was picked to finish last in the Big 12 last year won the league in Arizona State. So, but the Big 10 has, I mean, they can stake their claim. They've won the last 2 national titles. You can say, well, it's just Michigan or Ohio State. Well, that's what a lot of people say about the SEC. It was just Bama and Georgia. All right, I got to go. Those bourbons on the shelf. Blaine, you are new. Yes, they are. I've got probably 300 bottles of whiskey in us. Actually, I put a dent in that because I gave a bunch of run off to T-Bob when he moved. All right, I got to go. Y'all have an awesome day. Locked on LSU is live, podcast or YouTube, AFR at 3. We'll see ya. Y'all have a great day. Peace.